May 22nd, 2017, as audience members exited the Manchester Arena at the end of Ariana Grande's Dangerous Woman tour concert, a suicide bomber detonated a vest laden with homemade explosives, killing 22 people and injuring over 800 more. The attack had the highest death toll in Britain in over a decade and seemed to target women and girls, Grande's primary audience demographic at the time. Although Grande was not physically present for the bombing, she has struggled with the perpetrators' intentions in targeting her work and her fans. So I think it's important to take Grande's trauma seriously and recognize that while making music about her trauma may be therapeutic, it can also be difficult and painful. Talking about a trauma can cause survivors to experience flashbacks of sensations and emotions. Influential theorists of trauma tell us that trauma is inexpressible through words, difficult to communicate and comprehend. But because vocal music is produced primarily through the body, it's something familiar that listeners can relate to even if they themselves can't hold a tune, making song an especially productive way of communicating and understanding trauma. Because Grande's music in the aftermath of the bombing is relatable and contextually meaningful, I consider it emotional labor that contributes to listeners' ability and willingness to process their own trauma. The phrase emotional labor describes how people hide their own feelings to perform some other emotion in order to helpfully influence others. As this concept has become a household term, we've come to recognize that emotional labor usually falls on the shoulders of women. After the bombing, Grande returned home to Florida to be with her family and contemplated canceling the remainder of her tour. She explained in an interview, "Initially, I was like, I'm not putting those costumes on again. I can't sing those songs again." Instead, she returned to the UK 2 weeks later to spearhead the One Love Manchester benefit concert, raising over £17 million for the British Red Cross. She then went on to complete her world tour. By persevering in this way, Grande put the needs of her fans before her own misgivings about continuing the tour, performing a tactic by which emotional laborers attempt to manage the feelings of others by suppressing their own. Grande's 2018 album Sweetener addresses the Manchester Arena bombing in a number of ways. The first single, No Tears Left to Cry, describes the effort and exultation of living with and moving past trauma. It begins as a ballad and then picks it up to a dance tempo in the vein of Gloria Gaynor's I Will Survive or Barbra Streisand and Donna Summer's similarly titled No More Tears. Let's listen to this transition from ballad to bop.
Right now I'm in a state of mind. I wanna be in like all the time. Ain't got no tears left to cry. So I'm picking it up, I'm loving, I'm living, I'm picking it up. I'm picking it up, I'm loving, I'm living, I'm picking it up. I'm picking it up, picking it up. I'm loving, I'm living, so we turn it up. Yeah, we turning it up. Ain't got no tears in my body.
The official music video ends with a bee flying across the screen, a symbol of Manchester dating back to the Industrial Revolution. Get Well Soon, which Grande has described as a musical hug, is the last track on the album and concludes with over 40 seconds of silence, bringing the track to 5 minutes and 22 seconds, referencing the May 22nd date of the Manchester Arena bombing. Other songs on Sweetener don't reference Manchester directly, and Grande has clarified that it's not just about that. It's also about personal demons and anxiety and more intimate tragedies as well. Mental health is so important. For example, the lyrics to Breathe In describe experiences of anxiety and staving off panic attacks, and the music reflects this by alternating between noisy chaos and extreme reverb, conjuring images of a big, lonely room. This can be heard clearly at the very beginning of the song. The intro builds chaotic layers of sound that crescendo to the entrance of the voice when the accompaniment drops significantly. Let's listen for that juxtaposition.
Some days things just much of my energy. I look up and the whole room's spinning. You take my
To my ear, this can be likened to the conflict between feeling overwhelmed and feeling lonely, a symptom suffered by many with anxiety and depression. I think of Grande's emotional labor as a way of embracing negative emotions in order to process her trauma so that it can be visceral to her listeners. Her admission to experiencing negative emotions is a way of creating space and making it okay for listeners, especially women and girls, to safely and confidently feel similar emotions. It is often assumed that emotional labor comes naturally to women, but this discounts women's agency in wielding this skill set. So we must acknowledge Grande's choice, along with her team, to create music addressing her trauma, which then acts as a kind of emotional labor. While the profits she makes from her music do not invalidate her transparency around mental health, Grande's net worth has tripled since the Manchester Arena bombing. And I don't have time in this talk to delve into the related concerns about racial appropriation that have plagued her career. But when the term emotional labor was coined by Arlie Hochschild in 1983, it was in direct relation to capitalism, a means of maximizing profit. In discussing the emotional labor of flight attendants, Hochschild says, capitalism has found a use for emotion management, and perhaps it does take a capitalist sort of incentive system to connect emotional labor to competition and go so far as to actually advertise a sincere smile. Unlike Hochschild's flight attendants, Grande reveals to women and girls the possibility of expressing negative emotions as well as positive. This isn't new. Popular singers, especially women, have long been expected to perform supposedly authentic emotion, positive or negative, for the benefit of listeners and to make money. But in Grande's case, she's able to leverage this emotional labor to elevate her own status as an artist. Rather than advertising a sincere smile, Grande calls it a fake smile and tells it to fuck off. Take it away, Ari.
I can't fight